Hello and welcome to part 2 of our platform adventure. What we're going to be looking at in this video primarily is sorting out our terrain using the X variable and also making sure our superhero guy can move around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the superhero of our game, and again, like my previous videos, I apologise for my lack of artistic integrity. So what I'm going to do is just create a very simple sprite, and again I apologise, this is going to look hideous, but hey, there we go. And give him a nice little smiley face. There we go. So this is going to be our guy who's going to be jumping around and moving around in our game, and what we want to be able to do is to get him actually to move around in our game. Easy as pie. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to create a variable, and we're going to call the variable X. Nice and original, I know. And what this is going to do is this is going to be looking at the X-axis to make sure when we go around it's not just going to look like this as it is on the screen with lots of green. It's actually going to go from sprite 1 to sprite 2 to sprite 3, so it's actually going to scroll around. So what we're going to do first of all is when it gets clicked we're going to set X to 0. So as soon as he steps up, we're going to go say X is going to be set at 0, and we are going to add a couple of controls. So we are going to go forever if, and if the left arrow is pressed, we are going to change scroll X by 5. And so what that will do is allow the X axis to move over by 5. And this is important, so then we can get the character moving itself. And so X moves by 5, but then if it gets pressed again to 10, to 15, to 20, and so on and so forth. And what we're going to do, we're going to be a little bit cheeky. We're going to duplicate that for the right arrow, and if the right arrow gets pressed, we're going to change X by -5. So we're going to take 5 off it, so then it can move this way, along this way. Because you can see at the bottom of the X, when we're moving to the right hand side, the X axis increases, whereas if we move to the left, it decreases. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And also what we're going to do is we are going to be adding another forever. So we are going to go to control, forever, and what we're going to do here is going to add in a couple of if statements. And all these are going to be doing is we're going to be looking at if this is going to be touching anything green. And for that, first of all, we're going to be using the not operator. So if it is not touching the colour green, so if it's not touching the colour green, we're going to be changing the y-axis. So remember the y-axis, if you think back from maths, this is the x-axis going horizontally, the y-axis goes vertically, and all we're going to do is we're going to change y by -5. And again, you can see from the y-axis down here, the higher it is, the higher the number, the higher up he is, the lower down, the lower it goes. And similarly, if I just duplicate this, we are going to take out the not, and if it's touching the green, we're going to increase the y-axis by 5. Nearly there now with this, so at the moment you should be able to go left to right, and what we're going to do now is just a little bit of maths. What we want to be able to happen is setting these different sprites here so they can appear in order. And all we're going to do for that is when the flag gets clicked, forever, we are going to set X, and with this we're going to be doing 2 operators. First of all, we're going to be using the X variable, so we're going to set X to X plus 480, which is the size of the screen, multiplied by 0. And that's for the first one. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to put these onto the other ones by right click, duplicate, and choose the sprite you want to do. For sprite 2, times it by 1. For sprite 3, times it by 2. So now when you click green, you can see that we've just got this axis here, and then now we are going into sprite 2, and then finally here we're going into sprite 3. And at the moment he's moving up and down quite happily, but what we're going to look at the next video is how we can make it even better. Hope this has been useful. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in episode 3.